Good evening and welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles. I need to put this phone over there because it causes this mic to make a noise. So it's over there. Welcome to Star Talk. We'd love to hear from you during this hour of the program. We have a telephone number up there that you can call, and our email address is most likely up there, but just in case it's not, it's KECHOLS47 at gmail.com, and we hope you will participate in this Star Talk. Citizen D has won stage 3 of our NASCAR contest. Congratulations to Citizen D, who follows in the footsteps of Mr. Draper and Leon, our past winners. And let's see who's on the phone. Hello, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, it's Mark from Maryland.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Mark, how are you?
Okay, that's good. Good, you're doing okay. My man came in third place last Sunday. Where am I standing at?
Well, you finished in 8th place, Mark.
Oh, eighth place?
Yep, top 10.
Okay. So is it gonna be another race?
Well, we got 2 races left. We've got and Phoenix, and yeah, we're going to do a quickie segment with those 2 races. I honestly don't know what the winner will get at this point. But if you want to go ahead and make your pick for Martinsville, now is the time you can do that.
Yeah, for Martinsville, I want Tyler Ray, 45.
45. Mark has Tyler Reddick for Martinsville. Okay, it's in the book.
Okay, and don't forget Matt Singer tonight for you and Charles.
Oh, well,
Charles
Charles will need to remember that, and I'm glad you reminded him. I, of course, won't see it tonight. I'll see it tomorrow.
Okay. All right, thanks, Ken.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget to mention about the stew.
The Sandy Ridge stew. I will certainly mention that.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for calling, Mark. Good to hear from you. By the way, I got some stew today. Stew showed up at my house, and I appreciate that. It was I've eaten about a half a quart. Eaten about a half a quart of that already. It is really, really good. I like it when stew shows up at the house. Um, I'll do that in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, I'm glad I got you, buddy.
Hey.
I don't know. Was you on Monday and Tuesday?
I didn't get on Monday because the internet didn't work. I was on Tuesday, but we had a guest on Tuesday, so I didn't do a regular show on Tuesday.
Well, you know what position I'm in the great book. You know what position I'm in. This is Early Bird.
Hey, Early Bird. Early Bird, that segment is now over, and you ended up tied for 5th place.
Did I?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yes, pretty good. Oh, wait. You were tied for fourth place, not 5th, 4th place.
Fourth place.
Yep.
Right on. So when do you start up again? Next week?
Wood Martinsville. If you want to make a
Martinsville race.
Yeah.
Oh well, we get to pick a driver for Martinsville race too tonight.
Yep. If you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
Okay.
I think I'm ready. Let me see. Give me. I'm gonna take. What's his name? Elliott.
Chase Elliott, number 9. All right, Early Bird, give me just a second because you're ready. You're ready, but I'm not. I just dropped my pen.
Okay, we'll take your time. I ain't no hurry. I ain't no upset.
Hang on, I gotta find it.
Okay, take your time.
Dropping my mic. Oh, good night. It has rolled. It has rolled under the furniture. Now, so let me reach over here and get this pencil. Okay, Early Bird, you have number 9 for Martinsville. It's in the book.
Yeah, check. Yep, in the book. Do you want me to go hang up?
If you're ready to hang up, then go ahead.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
Well, thanks for calling, Early Bird. Good to hear from you. See, I dropped my pen and it rolled directly under a piece of furniture. As things always do, that's generally what things do when you drop them. If they are capable of rolling, they roll directly under a piece of furniture. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Ken. Taking my call.
Sure.
This is a nice guy. I'd like to take the number 11 this weekend.
For Martinsville, nice guy has the 11. It's in the book.
Okay. Thank you very much. Missed you Monday.
Well, the internet failed us on Monday. I'm sorry, but I'm glad to be here tonight.
I called 5 or 6 times before I realized it was the replay.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah, dummy me.
They all kind of look alike, don't they?
Yeah.
Because I only got one shirt.
There you go. Well, talk to you later.
Well, thanks for calling. Now, if I had like a whole wardrobe of different different clothing, they wouldn't look so much alike. But since we've discovered this one shirt which works with the light in this room and the green screen, I just stay with this shirt, so we're not always having to readjust the lights. And yes, we do wash we do wash this shirt on a regular basis. So don't worry about that. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you? Thanks for the stew.
Oh, you're very welcome, man. I was going to make one last year, but, things happened around here and I couldn't. But I hope you enjoy it, man.
Yeah, I already have.
Good. I told your wife, I said, if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
Well, that's a good deal. You can't beat that.
Yeah. I told her I'd give you a quart, your wife a quart, and give your sister a quart of it, too, if she likes it. I don't know if she likes it or not.
Oh, yeah, she likes it. She'll like that a lot.
Yeah, good. I really enjoyed your show last night, Ken, with the doctor on there. I mean, he got my vote before, I got it on the 17th, matter of fact, but there's only one thing wrong with your show last night.
What was that?
He should have been on 2 weeks ago before early voting started because, the man's got his act together. I like your views on Medicaid expansion, schools, you name it. He was right on time, I think.
Well, let me mention, just make sure everybody understands, we make available to Senator Berger that same amount of time if he wants to be on the air. So we're not playing any favorites here.
No, sir, not at all. And that's a good, fair, equal way to do it, and I hope he comes on. I hope for some good questions like you asked him last night, the email person did last night. They're good questions, I thought. But, he just hit a home run for a long time.
Well, I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that.
Yeah. Richard Burr takes credit for saving the hospital up there in Eden. You see more here than at UNC. But, in my opinion, had they expanded Medicaid years ago when the Democrats tried to get them to do it and wouldn't, Medicaid caused the hospital to go under. And I think you said last night that 95% of it is guaranteed by the federal government. So how can you lose in a situation like that?
Well, of course, that was the argument in the General Assembly. The way you could lose, and I'm just stating the theoretical argument, the way you could lose is if the federal government didn't keep up its end of the bargain, which to this point the federal government has. They certainly have. But the big argument in Raleigh back then was that you couldn't count on the feds to carry 95% of the load. but apparently they got past that concern.
Yeah, I think they were playing politics with it, Ken. I think they waited till they got, the supermajority down there, and then they come out and says, okay, we'll just expand Medicaid and, you know, play that to the public and see how it works out for them in the long run. But to me, it's a no-brainer. They should have done it 10 years ago, but didn't do it. And I also like his view on the casino, what Richard Burr said about that. He said it was dead or dormant, and like he explained last night, one's not the same thing as the other. And I hope people will realize that if they're against the casino, they need to be voting for Dr. Lucas, So
Well,
we'll see how it plays.
oh, go ahead.
I said we'll see how it plays out in the long run, but I hope he gets elected. I really do.
Okay, have you voted?
Oh yeah, I voted first day, Ken.
Okay, just making sure everybody votes, no matter who you're voting for. Everybody vote.
Yes, sir. Put me down for the number 8 on Martinsville, if you would, Ken.
Let's see. Mr. Pelham has the number 8. It's in the book.
All right, Ken. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. A phone line is open at that number that is up there on your screen. You can give us a call at that number, or you can email us at kechols47 at gmail.com. This emailer says, Ken, is there going to be another hurricane? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there will, in fact, be another hurricane. Um, don't ask me a complicated question like when and where will it go, because I don't know the answer to that one. But I don't think there's too much doubt as to whether or not there will be another hurricane. Yeah. Um, Hey, Ken, this is Jack. Put me down for the 12. Ryan Blaney in Martinsville this weekend. Jack has the 12. By the way, Citizen D, you're probably wondering when and how do you get the fantastic, enormously valuable prize that you win for finishing first in segment 3. I will be sending you an email in just a little while um, when I get official word comes from Martinsville. And as soon as I have that official word, I'll send you an email and let you know what you have to do. This emailer says, last night, crooked Joe Biden insulted 50% of USAers, calling us garbage. Then he and his administration issued not one, but three revisions trying damage control. Biden said what he said. He meant what he said, and we heard it. He was no more talking about the Sunday night idiot comedian than man in the moon. He has insulted Republicans ever since he signed on the election form line. He's always bragging how he is a unifier. His ignorant, degrading insult Tuesday night was not unifying anyone. It was the lowest of hate. His underlings and cronies in cabinet are just as guilty. He may have handed Trump the election. Crooked Joe said what we all thought and think they are thinking, hate for the other 50% of the USA. Wannabe President Trump hate speech of 33 minutes bashes Trump 22 times. From last night, pressing table talk issues less than 5 times. You see where her heart is or isn't. She had nerve to imply she wants to be a unifier after bashing her opponent. Hypocrite, two-faced. A question for the local Democrats. If Republicans are garbage, what are you? Okay. Thank you, emailer. Hi, caller. You are on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Ken. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Okay, can you hear me good? All right.
I hear you just fine.
Okay, I see you were breaking up earlier. I listened to the other call now. So, Ken, I wanted to ask you a question. Okay, so here in Virginia, they was talking on heard on the news about the ballots. They taking some of the ballots out because of some people was not eligible to vote.
Hmm.
And could you explain that? I mean, because I voted, okay, because I mean, do they? I mean, do I know whether they took mine out or not? I
You
mean,
are
you know,
supposed.
because
Well, what we're talking about is provisional ballots. When somebody votes, if they don't have the proper identification or the proper paperwork, or if for any reason there is a doubt about whether they are eligible to vote, they will cast what's called a provisional ballot. So if you voted on a provisional ballot, you would have known that when you voted. They would have told you you have to cast a this is wrong is wrong. But if nobody told you that, then your ballot, I mean, presumably, is okay.
hmm yeah, well, so I went downtown here in Danville at the bank down there and voted. So when I went ahead, on nobody said anything. So I went ahead. She just asked for my ID, and I showed her my ID, and and my back and fell out. But I was wondering about that, because and then they had some elderly people, some elderly people that vote. Okay, then they said that the way I understood it was some of their votes would be taken out. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
And then they burn they sit.
hello,
You
hello.
go ahead, go
Okay,
ahead. I'm still here.
okay, go ahead. You dropped
Hello,
out.
hello. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So what? Yeah. Thinking about too. A lot of the ballots got burned up. Some of the votes in about two boxes. What are they gonna do about that, you rate?
Well, they will have to figure out whose ballots were in those boxes, and they should be able to trace where those ballots came from, presumably, and figure out whose ballots were in there and allow them to vote again. Exactly how they can do that, I'll tell you the truth, I don't know how they can be certain about that. I hope they'll be able to do it right.
Oh yeah, because some of them got destroyed so bad, there was no trace of it or whatever, right?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But now
Okay.
let me ask you a
Well, I know.
question. Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
You filled out your
Okay.
ballot. Uh, did you put your ballot into the machine, into the reader that takes the ballots in?
That's right.
Okay, well then your ballot is in
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Your ballot is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So when I finished filling it out, I was up at the stand, and I walked over to the machine right there in the place right there, and it just sucked it right on in like a shredder machine or something. It just sucked it on
Right.
into the machine there.
Then
Yeah.
you're okay.
hmm Great. Yeah. Gave me word there a little bit, and but I hope everything turned out all right right there. And as far as those ones that burn up and whatnot, there too. So. Yeah, but I know it's gonna be, and Ken, what's worried me a lot is it's gonna be a tight race, and it's gonna be some mess behind all this. I know it is. I can see it coming
Well,
already.
if it turns out close, I mean, yeah, you're right. If it turns out close, every one of these things is going to be litigated in court at some point. So we'll see.
Exactly. Like here's the thing too. I know. Don, he's already saying that this is wrong already. So he's getting prepared before it even come to a head. Yeah, but we'll see what happens.
Well, thanks for calling.
Well, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, thanks for taking my call, Ken.
Good night. Phone line is open if you'd like to give us a call or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you either way on this edition of Star Talk. And we do have a couple of emails to look at over here. This one says, hello, Ken. Mr. Wentworth here. Mr. Wentworth is taking the 5. at Martinsville. The 5 at Martinsville. Everybody has 0 points now. Everybody starting fresh. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening, Ken. I've missed the show the last 2 nights.
Well, hey, Leon.
Just wonder if you could give us a final rundown of the points in the second half.
Citizen D finished first. He is the winner of this segment. We had a tie for second place. That was Mr. Pelham and the Liberal tied for second. And we had a tie for fourth place with, where are we at? A tie for fourth place. That was Jack and Early Bird tied for fourth. Leon, I'm sorry to tell you, you ended up on the bottom this time.
Well, that's not too bad, but I'm gonna take the wrecking ball at Martinsville, the number 1 car.
Okay, Chastain at Martinsville, where he pulled his most famous maneuver when he rode the wall. Leon, it's in the book. Okay, Leon, you still there?
All right, I appreciate it, Ken.
Well, thanks for calling, Leon. Good to
Yes,
talk
sir.
to you. Let's see. So Leon has the 1, Mr. Wentworth the 5, Nice Guy the 11, Mark has the 45, Jack has the 12, Early Bird has the 9, and that's what we got so far. Martinsville. We'll know real soon. We'll know in 2 weeks who wins this segment. It's our lightning round, we're going to call it. Mr. Leaksville has the 5 this weekend. So let's see, Mr. Leaksville, the 5 for Martinsville. Thanks, Mr. Leaksville. This emailer says, Ken, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? The Republicans in North Carolina have the lead in early voting this time. That's just the opposite from how it usually is. Why do you think that is? Well, I think I mean, I don't know, but probably the biggest reason for that is Donald Trump was urging his voters to vote early this year. And that's one thing he said time and time again. Also, I think they had that in one of their mail. I think one of the mail pieces I got from the Trump campaign had a thing on there that said vote early. So clearly, Republicans have taken that advice, and Republicans are voting early in greater numbers than they have, I guess, than they ever have at any time. I don't know what conclusions we draw from that, other than they obviously take suggestions from Mr. Trump seriously. It is, I think, in North Carolina, and I don't have this in front of me. I believe in North Carolina, 34% of the early votes have come from people registered as Republicans, and 30, or maybe it's 2 and 31 Republican, 32% from affiliated voters. It's really, really close. So the 3 are right there together. Whereas in the normal year, Democrats have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 percentage points more, in some places even more than that, of an advantage over Republicans in early voting. So one thing that it would change, just we're kind of speculating here, in times past being 2020 is the past time we're talking about, because in so many states the early vote is counted last. When most Republicans were voting on election day in states like Wisconsin and Georgia, and just to name a couple, they counted the election day votes first, and Trump was showing a big lead on election night there. And then after they counted the election day votes, then they started counting the early votes, which were mostly Democratic. And that's when Mr. Trump's lead shrunk, and in some of those states went away. That might not be so obvious a trend this year. Uh, if we can extrapolate from the percentages of voting that we've had so far, um, then there are more Republicans voting early, which presumably would mean fewer Republicans voting on election day. So it might be that the election day totals don't show as much of an advantage for the Republicans as they did last time. But then the Democrats won't have as much of an advantage late at night when they start counting the early votes. Maybe it'll work that way this time, or maybe it won't. I mean, who really knows? I don't. But it is an interesting trend. Clearly, Republicans have embraced early voting this year in a way that they have not previously done. Mr. Draper takes the 5, and Mr. Draper will be watching the 5, he points out, not on TV this Sunday, but Mr. Draper will be watching from the stands at Martinsville. Why? Because Mr. Draper was the winner of segment 2 and will have in his hands tickets for the Martinsville race. So he will, Mr. Draper has the 5 right there to watch. And perhaps if the 5 team has some uncertainty late in the race and they're wondering whether they should pit or not pit or do this or do that, Mr. Draper will be right there available for consultation. If they want him, if they want any suggestions from him, he'll be there to help out, and I'm sure he'll be happy to do that. Of course, he's going to bill them later on, so they need to keep that in mind. Ken, what is going on with Big Lots? Big, my favorite store. And now you can hardly even find a Big Lots. And now they're closing another store and some more stores. Is Big Lots going away? I'm not won't say they're going away. It doesn't look good for Big Lots right now. They've closed, I don't know how many stores they've closed, a whole lot. And now they're closing 340 more. Honestly, I don't know how many stores Big Lots has left. How quickly can I look that up online? Really not real quickly. But they're just all right. This says Big Lots closures come hand with us in business sales. It's not telling me. I found the story, but it's not telling me how many stores Big Lots has left. They're set to close over 340 stores, including one additional location in western North Carolina. Previously this year, Big Lots closed 7 North Carolina stores in Charlotte, Durham, Raleigh, and Jefferson. So this will be the first closing in western North Carolina. Big Lots has joined other chains, including Red Lobster, which declared bankruptcy earlier this year, and Rite Aid, Bed Bath & Beyond, and more in its struggle to stay afloat financially. I'm going to read the whole story. But yeah, it's hard times for Big Lots. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken.
Hey.
Look, Ken,
hang on a second. Your phone dropped out there, so we didn't hear all that you said. Start over. Hello?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We do hear you now.
Hello?
Go right ahead.
All right, I'm picking number 5.
Number 5, a
Martinsville.
popular guy at Martinsville this week.
Well, You know, you picked the best driver for the roughest track to drive on, right?
That's a good strategy.
Yeah. And I got two second places out of three events. That's not bad for a lunatic, is it?
Probably most lunatics wouldn't do that well.
Correct. Make a quick statement, and it's not over 3 minutes, okay?
Oh, again.
Uh, now, I wasn't talking as I said, quote, this for
Okay, caller, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your phone keeps dropping out there. You kind of disappear every now and. Hello, hello. Um, okay, we still have the line open, but we're not hearing anything. Hello, caller. All right, I'm sorry, caller. You might want to try again, uh, and maybe get a better connection. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello. Well, this is fun. Hi, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
And good evening.
Yes,
Hello.
let's get down to business.
Okay, let's do.
We're not finishing last Sunday's race.
Uh, you finished. Well, I'm not sure where you finished in the race. Where you finished in the segment was seventh place.
Oh, work on it this weekend. We're going to do all three states.
Okay,
Number
who's
five,
who's
head
go-
and
who,
three
who's going to
thirds.
do that? Hello,
I picked Kyle Lawson for the. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Mr.
Yes.
Ken.
Hello. So you picked the
I picked. I had number 5 in reserve for Martinsville, sir.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. Number 5. Charles has the 5 for Martinsville. It's in the book.
Well, sir, we'll speak to you next weekend. Have a good weekend, sir.
Oh, by the way, Mark said don't forget the Masked Singer.
Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. I will remember now.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. It seems to me, and I'm just guessing it, we always have some latency on the phone where you cannot immediately hear what the other person is saying. I think that might be worse than usual tonight. They're really struggling with the phones. And to the liberal who called, you can call back. You have a second call tonight because it wasn't your fault that the first call disintegrated. So you do have liberty to call back and try again if you wish. And I apologize for what is happening with the phones. My internet has my internet has had a slow week, and I think it's slowed down some tonight, which is kind of making phone conversations a little bit clumsy. I'm sorry about that. Um, but that's what happens when technology goes astray. And technology does, from time to time, go astray, doesn't it? So, Ken, who is it? Who is it that is suing Mark Robinson? Can you explain? He says that he does not owe them any money. Why is he being sued for $100 million? Oh, it's not 100, not 100 million. Emailer, I don't know where you saw that story. It's 114,000. which is, decent money, but it's not 100 million. A polling firm, some polling outfit, is suing the Mark Robinson campaign for $114,000. They claim in their lawsuit that they had a contract to do polling for Mark Robinson, and that they did polling, and that they've never been paid the $114,000. And they say they're filing suit now, and this does seem like a really quick turnaround for filing a lawsuit. They say they're filing suit now because they don't believe Mark Robinson will have enough money to pay them after the election, so they want their money now. That's what the plaintiff says. The defendant has a different story. The Robinson campaign says that there was a contract. They acknowledge that there was a contract, but the Robinson campaign says the contract was signed by an advisor who did not have the authority to execute a contract on behalf of the campaign. Therefore, says Mark Robinson, we don't owe him any money because the contract is null and void because the person who signed the contract on our behalf did not have any such authority to sign that contract. So that's all it is. It's one of those back and forth things where I don't know how it'll turn out. But I guess the main point to make is it's not 114 million, it's 114,000. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken.
Try again.
Is that any better?
Well, it sounds fine now. If it doesn't disappear again, go at it.
Oh, okay. Ken, what I was going to say, though, lastly, in the first term, Trump stated he will choose the best and the brightest in his administration. Now, all of those people he chose say he's unfit to be president again. Please answer this question for me, Ken. Is Donald Trump's judgment so poor he chose a bunch of no good people to work for him, or was it that these people were close enough to see he was no good? So my question is, which one is it? And I hope some of his mega people can answer that, Ken.
Well, of course, I don't know the answer to that question, but maybe somebody else does.
All right, Ken. And look, one alarming thing I found out, you know how he criticized China.
Mm-hmm.
The Golden Bible that Trump was selling was made in China.
Right.
Now, don't we have some printing companies in the USA?
Well, we do, but I doubt they could have had them made for $3 a piece, which is what they paid in China.
Yes. So, in other words, it's okay for him to do business with China, but he keep preaching America shouldn't do business with China.
Oh, that would be one way to look at it, I guess.
Right. Okay, Ken. I enjoy your show, and it me to go there again here.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Okay, there went the phone again. So I'm not sure what we said there in the last 10 seconds. The phones again. I apologize for the state of the phones tonight. I have so many things to apologize for related to this show, though. I mean, why just pick out the phones? I just apologize in general for this program, I guess is what I really ought to do. So consider that done. Ken, have they opened any more of the Blue Ridge Parkway yet? I still might have time to get in some leaf viewing if I could get on to the Parkway for any distance. No, I think it's still just that 20-mile stretch in North Carolina. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, I hate to call back in. You were gonna mention about the stew.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that right away, Mark. I'll do that right away. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right. Let's mention the Sandy Ridge stew, and I will soon. Honestly. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello, caller. All right. No luck on that one. The next stew that we know of is coming up on November 23rd. November 23rd. This will be at the Sandy Ridge Community Building. They'll have not a whole lot. This will be sort of a small batch of stew on November 23rd. But if you would like to reserve a quart at $6 a quart, you can call 336 871 3821. That same number will apply for a second stew at Sandy Ridge. That's on December the 14th. They'll have a lot more stew in December, so you'll have a better chance of getting in there. Again, the number is 336 871 3821. That's at the Sandy Ridge Community Building, and it is $6 a quart. If you want to call up and reserve your quart now, by all means, do so. Let me look at my watch. It's always good to know what time it is. All right, we got a few minutes left for your phone calls and your emails. And we have this email about Medicare Part C. Can somebody ask about Medicare Part C and if it was going to be discontinued? And you said it's not officially going to be discontinued, but they might discontinue it because it costs Medicare more money than the other kinds of Medicares. When do you think they would discontinue it? Well, I probably ought not to speculate on that because I don't know. Again, there hasn't been any indication that Medicare is on its way to discontinuing Part C plans. So let's emphasize that above all else. No one has said that they're going to discontinue Medicare Part C. What I said was certainly what I ought to have said, and what I think I did say, was there are people, particularly people who claim to be experts on Medicare, who say there are people who say that Medicare needs to discontinue the Part C plans because the Part C plans cost Medicare anywhere from 15 to 20% more than the standard, the traditional Medicare plans cost. And these people say that is draining the Medicare fund, Medicare trust fund, faster than it ought to be drained. And the reason that Medicare Part C costs more is because these are plans operated by private insurance companies who often charge no premiums. But these private insurance companies have to get their profit from somewhere, and to a large extent, they're getting their profit through direct payments from the federal government. Therefore, these plans are costing Medicare more money, and that's why some people, I didn't say it, some people are urging Medicare to discontinue Part C. But if you have a Part C plan, don't panic. Your plan is there for you, and nobody is about to cancel your Part C plan. So let's make sure that we all understand that. Okay, this one I'm gonna have to skip by this. This one is really weird. This one's about as weird as they get. So let's move on to something else and instead read this one. Uh, Ken, who was the other winners you said that Citizen D won this segment of the racing contest? Who was the other winners? Well, stage two was won by Mr. Draper, who's going to Martinsville this weekend, and stage one was won by our friend Leon. And Leon went, I think he went to the Martinsville race in the spring with his winnings. So our big winners, the names that will be chiseled into history for 2024 so far, Leon, Mr. Draper, and Citizen D. And there's going to be one more in our two-race lightning round. Um, so there. This one says, this was from Citizen D, who actually, this was a couple of nights ago, where he was speculating if he actually was going to win. So that no further speculation is necessary there, because yep, he did. He did. Hey Ken, why don't you get better internet? Well, that's a good question. Why don't you get better internet? Um, I, I have pretty good internet. I have pretty good internet, and I'm generally happy with my internet. The thing is, on Monday, it didn't go off entirely. I didn't lose the internet on Monday. It's just that it got really, really slow. I don't know why, but it did. And when it gets slow, when it slows down to a certain point, you can't do TV with it anymore. Um, because in order to feed this signal, this incredibly good and beautiful signal that you're seeing now, in order to feed this signal from here to Martinsville, I have to have a certain upload speed. And if my upload speed drops below that minimum, then I can no longer get this signal to Martinsville. Hence, Martinsville cannot get me on the air. So, my internet's, I have Spectrum, like many of you do, and it's fine. It's very good most of the time, but sometimes it's not. I also have, if you live in Eden, you've been seeing all summer long and now into the fall these big white bucket trucks all over the place with guys working on utility poles and sawing utility poles down and putting utility poles up and knocking wires down and putting wires up. And they've been going, that's been going on right in front of my house since about early August. And it so happens that on Monday afternoon, when my internet got so slow, one of those bucket trucks was out there with those guys out there taking down and putting up various kinds of cables right in front of my house. And I don't know, but I suspect that might have had some effect on my internet service on Monday afternoon. I would not be shocked if that was part of the problem. Um, Ken, it's one thing about big lots closing a lot of stores, but it's a whole different thing about Rite Aid. Was it Rite Aid? Or whoever it was, about, well, just say drugstores uh, closing down their stores. Um, it's going to be soon so that you cannot have a drugstore right here in town where you can go and buy your prescriptions. And I know that the insurance companies want us to do mail order prescriptions because they allow to make more money. with mail order prescriptions, but I don't think that's a very good way to get prescriptions. So when all the drugstores close, how can I get my prescriptions other than through the mail? Well, we've talked about that a little bit off and on over the last little while. I guess the answer is if all the drugstores close, I don't know that what alternative we'll have other than to get our prescriptions by the mail. If I mean, if there's no store that you can get in the car and drive to, I don't know how else to do it other than through the mail. And I also, I mean, I'm not entirely comfortable with that either. I don't think that anybody is entirely comfortable with that, especially when I get, just to pull an example out of the air, when I get a document from my bank, which is headquartered in Asheville. I get a document from my bank that they are required by law to send me 7 days before a certain account matures. When I get that document from my bank in Asheville 6 days after that that particular account has matured, and I sit down and do the math, and I see that it took 13, count them, 13 days for that envelope with that document in it to travel from Asheville to my house right here in Eden, which is about a 3-hour drive. But it took 13 days for the Postal Service to get that thing here. Then when I think about that, I get even more uneasy about people relying on the mail to deliver their prescriptions on time. So I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. The question is, if there are no drugstores, how do we know we're going to get our prescriptions on time? I don't know. And I hate for my last words on this show to be, I don't know, but they are, because we're out of time. Star Talk is on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Echols.